Good evening. It's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. I have some fun projects to show you. So I hope that a lot of you can pop on live, and the rest of you will hopefully enjoy it later. Let me just check everything and make sure that we are transmitting here. And I will give everybody a couple seconds to hop on. It always takes a little time to get through. So, it says I'm live. And let's see. Oh, sometimes it pops up at the top. Sometimes you have to go down. Hey, Tina. Hey, Debbie. Good to see you guys. Yeah. I'm excited, guys. I have a stamp set that I've been holding on to for a while, since the January through June catalog came out. And I have loved it ever since I've seen it in the catalog. It's just, I think there's not a lot of ideas out there with it. And I decided today was going to be an idea day. And so, yes, this is the set that I'm using. It's called Wrapped in Love? Wrapped Bouquet. Feels like it's wrapped in love, right? Hey, Michelle, welcome. So, Tina, Michelle, I have all of yours until Lyra's things here. I may try to catch up with her tomorrow. I think I even have the new order. I had a box come and I haven't had time to sort it yet. But anyways, so I'm going to get your stuff to you. I apologize that we have not connected and gotten your stuff from class this month, so that will be coming for you club ladies. Yes, that's a big thumbs up. I'm sure I have your new catalog for you. So I know, Tina, you probably got yours already, but Michelle, hopefully she shared it with you, right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and announce the winner for the last week's drawing, and it was Sylvia Cochran. And Sylvia, no big deal for you for when you get it. Okay. So Sylvia, I'm going to let you choose this time. I have rhinestone basic jewels and I have black rhinestones. They are no longer available, but they are gorgeous. I don't know if you have those or not, but anyways, you get to pick which ones of those. So just, you can text me or message on here when you join in. All right, so I think we are ready to get started. Let me just make sure that everything is, make sure I'm on the right screen here. And I'm going to go to my table, and I'm just going to show you first the stamp set that I'm talking about in case you haven't recognized it from the name. But it's something different. It's still flowers. I really struggle. I go like, oh, everything I do is flowers, but we have such gorgeous flowers. So this is flowers, but it's a little more than just flowers. So I thought that it would still be okay, even though it has flowers in it. So what I would like to do is show you a bunch of ideas using this stamp set. Now, I'm going to start out with the one in the catalog, because what better place to start, right, than where Stampin' Up! Gives us ideas. I also want to note that back in the back where it shows all of the bundles, there is another sample back here. And so I usually look back here too, just to see if there's something else that I might have missed. Now, I didn't write my page number down, so I have to just scoot through here and see. What I must do here. Here we go. Here it is. So it shows it here as a bundle, and then it has a cute sample here as well. So don't forget to look. And even like in the front of the catalog, I know the new catalog has a bunch of ideas in the front. This one has ideas in the front, so not always just where the products are. So look for ideas there first. The next place that I look, as a demonstrator, I go to Demonstrator Planning Place. It is a Facebook group that's just for demonstrators. And so I can go in there and search for a particular stamp set, or just get inspired by what people are sharing. Sorry, I know there's a glare on this. Let me see if I can get that out with a propping something under it. So that's the next place that I look. And then the third place that I look is Pinterest, of course. And all I have to do is type in the name of the stamp set or the bundle, and then I put in Stampin' Up, of course, so that it sort of sorts it. It is difficult if it has a name like Friendship or something like that. You'll get just everything under the sun. But this one came up with some ideas, and some of those I copied. So you know how much of a copier I am. All right, so let's get started with the one from the catalog. And of course, I have it here. I was like, I just got rid of my catalog. So I played around a little bit. I stamped it in gray. I stamped it in black. You'll see me stamp it in a color later. I also die cut some of the pieces. Oh, let me show you that. There are so many cool die cuts in here. I almost thought that the samples we're using Forever Greenery or the Forever Fern set, but they're not. There's lots of greenery in here. There's 4 different pieces of greenery. So that is really cool. This little piece here we will be using later. Right now for this card, we're going to use this solid piece right here. Now, I will show you how, well, I'll show you on another card how I stamped this, since I already have this one done for here. Okay. I did use our In Good Taste designer paper for the texture here. They used one of the papers in the in the sample. I don't think it's this particular one, but this is one that I had left. I do use this a lot. It is staying in the catalog. It's the only designer paper that is staying, and I'm really happy about that. So versatile. I have used it for just a ton of stuff in the past year since I've had it. And I cut this exact size, so I wanted to set that up so that I could actually make sure that I had that on there nice and squarely. And next I cut a circle with our stitch shapes, and they are retiring after the 3rd of May. So I probably should have cut this a little bit bigger, but I think it'll be okay. I will miss using these. I'm going to keep them, but I'll be sad not to be able to use them in my classes. And then I have 2 pieces of paper here. I have Blushing Bride and I have Petal Pink. And I was going to say, do I have no scissors? I only have ribbon scissors, but I'm just going to snip that down a little bit. And I'm going to stamp Love You Bunches across here. And I forgot to bring a pink ink pad, and I don't have Versamark, so let's see, what do I have? I have red, which isn't going to match, but I'm going to try it on one side and see if I can waste an image enough. It's called improvising. My stamps are only like 15 feet away, but that requires opening a door. I might just stamp it off twice. Yeah, I think that's going to look okay. So sometimes these colors, you can make them do different things when you stamp them off. I definitely don't want it red, but there you go. There's a little bit of pink on there. Not terrible. Just going to clean that right away so that I don't have red ink all over everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue this together. I am going to just put some glue on this one. And when I have something really thin that I'm afraid is going to go over the edge, I will just put it next to something else that can catch the adhesive for me. And I'm going to put this one down first. I'm trying to think where I want this. I usually try to lay everything out first before I position it, but okay. All right, let's work on this. I think I definitely, it's hard to pick up. I definitely want to use the black because I realize that it stands out a little bit more against this background. So I'm definitely going to use the black. And I decided to color it because I could have watercolored it because I did stamp this in StazOn. I decided I was not using blends for this, so I did do that in StazOn. And I decided to use my watercolor pencils, and I am going to, and I didn't even decide what color. I have them in our little cases, and I will grab, I think this is Melon Mambo. Oh, this is Flirty Flamingo. That's perfect. All right, so I just want to add a little bit of color, and then I could come in and I probably will use my blender pen to blend that color together. So I usually just slop it on, and then I'll come in and blend it. I like to push hard with these to get lots of color, so that doesn't lend itself too much to coloring nicely. And I do have a blend in here. So, hey guys, I see a whole bunch more join me. I'm not going to take time to say hi, but I'm excited to see you guys here. And I'm not sure when you popped on, but I'm showing the wrapped, what did I say? It's called Wrapped Bouquet. I keep wanting to call it Wrapped in Love. Okay, so just going to blend that out a little bit. That's really, that is not very Flirty Flamingo looking. My colors here are Petal Pink and Blushing Bride. And so I wanted it to be a little peachier. So I'm going to see. The sort of fun thing about watercolor pencils is that you can add colors together. Let me just zoom this in a hair so that you guys can maybe see a little bit better. Have to give that a minute to focus probably. I'm going to come in and add a little bit of orange to peach up that color. This is Pumpkin Pie. And let's see what that does. This is clean. Pretty sure I cleaned. That black is running for some reason. I'm pretty sure this is the one I stamped in StazOn. Probably because I'm running this over a little too much, but I think it's just the paper that's balling up on me and not the... Okay, so that was enough to get my colors back to the color that I have here. I don't know if you can see that. All right, so let me get rid of those. I don't remember which cases they came from. We have 2 sets, and I just noticed that this is crooked, but it's probably stamped crooked too. I'm gonna see if I can just lift up an end and just scoot it a little bit up. Actually, it's probably the one below that's crooked. There's too many things with this tweed background that has basically lines in it. It's probably going to be hard to get everything to look straight. So I might have to just give up on that. And if all else fails, if you have trouble getting something straight, then you just make it crooked so that people expect it to be crooked. All right, so so we have this, and then for the greenery, instead of coloring this, I'm going to just add, like they did in the sample, I'm just going to add some of these little pieces, and these are done in Petal Pizzazz. So I'm going to add those around here. And then I am going to stamp on our little tag. And again, I'm just going to do that in this pink. They have it embossed in white, but I'm just for time's sake, because I have so much to show you, I am not going to emboss tonight. And I do have a tiny block in here somewhere for this little tiny for you. And I don't know if I put it on crooked or the label was crooked, but it looks like it's straight, but it stamps just a tad crooked. So again, I'm going to stamp this off. And this is Flirty Flamingo here. So I'm going to stick that on there just in case I miss. And let's see, that goes down. So I just need to do this up a little bit. Yeah, I didn't do it very well, but that's okay. It's going to be hanging on there anyways, right? So All right, and I'm using our pink Blushing Bride ribbon. This is from the Love Suite in the mini catalog, in the January to June catalog. So you can find that there. And I do think I want to pop this up with a couple of dimensionals. And I want to show you, I brought some dimensionals in here that I had out in my office, I think. I want to show you what one of my team members did, and it's so smart, and I want to submit this to Stampin' Up. I don't know who came up with this idea, but I'm going to try stamping a design all over my the back of my dimensionals, because watch what happens when I've just put a line through all of the dimensionals. So now when I flip this over, how many times do you look at your things and go, wait, let me turn that. Did I take that one off? It's got a line, that means it wasn't taken off. And that way I know exactly which ones the covers were removed from and which ones weren't. Is that awesome or what? I hope that tip is worth your time tonight. Okay, can't forget to put that on here. And I'm going to first glue that down, and then I'm going to turn it over and just add my adhesive here, maybe, except it's popped up now, because I wanted to make sure that got in the right place. Okay, now these I'm just going to take a touch of green glue, and I'm just going to tuck them. You don't need a lot. These are so lightweight, it doesn't take much. Well, it takes some glue. Hopefully my glue will come out here. Let me get on my... There we go. It hasn't been used for over a week, so it doesn't know what it's doing, right? I'm just going to lift that because I don't want it to touch down until I get it in where I need it to be. Welcome to you ladies popping on. So good to see you all. Had a busy weekend. We got together for Tasha's birthday yesterday. Her birthday's not till Thursday. She will be 26. Can't believe it. She's not the baby. But yeah. So we had a good weekend. All right. Now I'm just going to tie a little bow here. I've got my tag attached, and I'm just going to get it started, and then I'm going to pop it down because it's too movable when it's flying around like that. So they just have that right hanging from here, and then you can make your bow. And I just do sort of a backwards little loop there. And then we're going to add some of these epoxy droplets. They are retiring, and therefore I'm using them. In fact, I was just pulling everything out that's retiring, and these fell on the floor, and they said use me, so I'm going to use them. Also, they, I think, use something like this on the sample, but I'm going to pop one of the large ones there, and we're going to put another little one maybe here. Okay. That shimmer just really makes it, doesn't it? So there's the first card, and of course our base is gray granite, so it's easy to write inside of. I know, Debbie, isn't that a brilliant idea? I was so impressed when I saw Lori show that. All right, let me just get rid of some stuff here so that we don't get confused. The next card that I want to show you is it's one of the first ones that I saw. I want to say Kylie Bertucci designed it. I'm not positive who the designer was. But it's a black and gray card, and just with a pop of color. So I'm going to start with my gray, and we are going to use this stamp right here. It's like a newsprint, and seriously, where have all my blocks gone? Well, I have little blocks, but no big blocks, because I thought I had one in here. So I'm going to pop it on here. I already have this set up for this stamp, but I think I can just scoot this out of the way. I'll show you all of that in a second, and we'll just move it around. I'm going to pop it right on here. Actually, it's a little tricky because there are no words on it. So it's very tricky as to where you are going to, or which direction you're going to stamp it. So I'm going to use, just for ease of cleaning, I'm going to use Memento. We're not coloring anything. And so I'm just going to ink that up. And I'm just going to move this around so I get everything stamped that I want to stamp. I probably zoomed in a little too much now, right? So that you can't see what I'm doing. Get a little bit down in here. And now on her sample, she does not have them all straight, and it looks fine. And I'm going to come up here, and that's not going to work because I'm going to mess up. I'm going to bend the paper if I do that. So that's all right. I can do this last one by just scooting my stamp down here. There we go. Apologize for that. I did not remember that I needed to stamp that. So, all right, I'll show you the rest of those pieces for, oh, actually, I'm going to show you them right now. So we have that stamped. Let me get this out of the way. I am keeping this handy, and I'll show you why I need that. I'm finished with Memento for now. All right, so we're going to put this piece back in. So this is how I do when I want to make a lot of pieces, and I do not want to stamp them and then, let me just wipe that off. I don't want to stamp them and then die cut them, because if it's just one piece, that's fine. Yes, that totally makes sense to do that. But if I have a whole bunch to do, it takes so long to line those up properly. So, so what we're going to do is I would die cut these, and the nice thing is I can die cut 2 of these at a time because there are no tiny little pieces. And so then I just took this piece of paper and I came away from the edge at least an inch or more and die cut again, and I die cut the other piece that we'll use for some of the other cards. And then I laid this stamp into that hole. I've explained this before, but sometime I might have somebody videotape me, but I have to hold this up above my head, and I actually put that stamp, the rubber, down into the hole, and I line it up underneath, and then I just take this paper and I lay it down carefully right up in that corner, and I drop it. And then I close this lid, and that picks the stamp up, and that stamp stays right where it's supposed to be. Okay? So now I'm ready to pop these in. You guys who come to class know that this is how I do it, because a lot of times you will get to do that. So for this one, I'm also using the watercolor pencils. So again, I'm using Stays On for this one. It's been a while since I've colored with anything but with our blend markers, because I do love them very much. But can't forget that there are other things to color with. So just going to lay that down here and get my paper, and then just press. And I have seen a lot of people like laying on this thing. You do not have to do that. If you have it positioned right, and if you get away from these edges, it's right there. It's just like a regular stamp. You just put good pressure on it, and it will stamp. Although it looks like I have something on my stamp here, of course, and that. It's really hard to ink the center of this without getting everything messy, but I'm going to go ahead and get that whole area again. And again, make sure that's up in the corner so that it's in the same position that it was. And press down again. There we go. And that still didn't do well, so maybe I lied and you do need to press a little harder than I think. It's not as sturdy as a stamp, because a block, because they're thicker, so it does give a little bit more. So you do need to walk around a little bit more than you would just with a stamp. So there's that one. That one's finished. And what I do then with my StazOn is I take a cardboard, and that's probably how that stuff got on my block. Because cardboard is just basically pressed paper, so it can leave a little bit behind. But usually I clean it after I do this. But this gets some of that dirt off, that StazOn off. You see how it brings that off? It would not come off if I just wiped it with my cleaner. So I'll get some of that off. That way it's not sitting there drying on, because that's what StazOn does. It's a permanent ink. Okay, we're ready to color. I'm going to grab this, and I am, this time, it's a black and white with a pop of color, so I really don't care what color, and I would like it to be bright. So I'm going to use a little bit of cherry cobbler and maybe some Flirty Flamingo just to soften that color a little bit. Again, just going to slop some color, but I do want more color this time because I really want it to pop. So I'm going to put a little bit more on. Of course, these colors are darker, so they will pop a little bit more. Let me just put a little pink in there. And when I say slop, you see it is quite a mess, isn't it? All right. I'm going to grab this blender pen. The way I check my blender pens to see if they are still good is I usually take the back of my hand and I can feel it if it's wet, and I can see it just get a little shiny, and that means that it's still good and it's not dried up. And you might want to take it on white cardstock or white scrap paper just to make sure that it's clean. But I do know that these are clean, because I usually always clean them before I put them away. This time I'm not going to go over it too much and make it make the paper pill. And this is probably the new basic white, and I have never done blending with this paper, so I'm guessing it's a little more sensitive to the water than the other one was. Still not happy with that in there, how that got, but I'm afraid I'll mess it up if I keep trying to ink that in black. All right, so that's finished. I do want to stamp, I want to say thanks on our paper. So let's go ahead and do our layers here. So what I have a piece for inside. I'm going to stamp that later just for time's sake. I do want to put a little bit of the image on there. This one is going to go right down on the black piece. It's just a layer to set off the gray. So I'm going to center that, and that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I came down just, instead of 1/4 of an inch, oops, not that one. Instead of 1/4 of an inch, I came down 1/8 of an inch. So it would be 3 7/8 by, I have to think, 4, 5 1/4 would have been 5 1/8. Sorry, I have to subtract in fractions. Most of us can't add in fractions. Don't ask me to subtract, right? All right, so just 1/8 of an inch on 2 sides, and that just gives that nice little frame of white, but not a lot. I think too much white would be tacky for this card because we're adding white to the front as well. So then I have basic gray as the next layer, and then I'm going to put a little off-centered, and then this one is going to go, I'm actually going to do it crooked. I think she has her straight. But I am going to try to put my stamp straight. So let's see. I want to use the Thanks Friend. Let me switch these out, and I can just do that in Memento. And I just want to stamp that right there. And then I will make the paper straight as to how the stamped. How's that sound? Sounds safer for tonight anyways. Okay. Let's go ahead and put some glue on that. I might have to hold that up so I can see when that friend is straight. Okay. It's going to look a little odd, I think, but we'll see. Maybe once this is on, maybe it will be okay. All right, so this is going to get popped up again. I'll use my cold dimensionals that have my lines through them. And then I have a bunch of little pieces here that I die cut from the dies in the set. And I'm going to take that out just because that messes with the camera. Okay. And then I'm just going to put that crooked. See, everything on here will be crooked. That way you're going to think that it was meant to be that way, right? Again, I'm going to grab my green glue and just tuck a few of these cute little leaves. I did this one in basic gray. And I'm going to just tuck that one back behind here. Well, the dimensional's there. It doesn't want to go. And then let's do, I didn't do the little guy. I'm going to just pop that off of there. I don't need that whole length since it's hard to tuck under because of the dimensional. There we go. And do I want one up here? I think I'll stick another one over here. And then again, I don't need that whole thing, so I'm going to just pop that off of there. And let me see if this will tuck down in here. Okay, I'm going to have to cut some of that off. These dies, they didn't look like much in the package, but they didn't pop out at me at all. But when I cut them, they're just really fine, defined. I don't know the right word, but I really like them a lot. I think I want to put that over there with that other one. Okay, so there we go. It would look cute with a bow. This would look cute with some matte black dots, which I did not bring in here, but I just love black and white, and then a pop of color on there yet is just a fun addition. So hopefully you like that one. And then I have another one, and guys, you have to bear with me. I think I promised that I wasn't going to use retiring stuff, but there are still so many things that I love, and this is one of them. In fact, I even bought extra of these gold hoops because they are just so cool. And I saw this idea that I don't have her name, but I saw a cue card done with a gold hoop with this set. So again, I went back to the In Good Taste designer paper. This is another wood. This is a wood grain this time. My card needs some bone folding to it. And so let's go ahead and put those layers together. And I did leave a border on this one. So this is 4 by 5 1/4 again to go on the 5.5 inch base. And then I mixed white and vanilla together, which I don't typically do, but I think that it will be okay. This still might be a little bigger than I want. And I did not bring a cutter in here. I want this to go behind here, but I want to be able to see a lot of it. So I may see if I can cut straight. Let's do this. I played with it to see how big would look good, and obviously My eyes were deceiving me because that didn't look good at all. Okay, let's try that. And then I want this to go behind here. I embossed this with one of the narrow embossing folders that has the leaves. So I got the leaves on there, and then this is the textured paste embossing folder. So those are going to go there just like that. I'm going to go ahead and just put some adhesive there, and then tuck a little bit under here. Okay, so there's my background. My hoop is going to go here, and I have a couple other pieces here that I want to show you. So I stamped the design in green. I'm going to color that in with our yellow, our daffodil blends. I've got the little tag, and I want that to say "for you." Let me just stamp that real quick. I'm going to do that in Early Espresso. And got to remember, that goes for you. I forget how to. There we go. It's still crooked. I can't, once you get those labels on, you can't change them. And it doesn't look like it's on wrong, but maybe the stamps, you know, sometimes they come cut too close to the edge or something. And yeah, so I usually can eyeball it and figure which way it needs to go, but it seems on camera I can't do two things at once. All right, I got some sticky on my hand from something, and I don't know what it was. All right, now this is a little die cut piece, and this we stamped that newspaper or whatever print on it, and it has little embossed places where you fold it to make your wrapping for the card. So I'm going to fold that. This is going to fold in, and this folds back like that. You know, I stamped both sides of the one that I did, and looks like I should have stamped both sides of this one, but I didn't do that. So I could though, but I'm not going to right now. I'm going to just finish stamping. You'll get the idea. This is going to fit in here like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this coloring done quickly. This won't take too long. Like I said, I'm using Daffodil. I have to make sure I'm using Daffodil, the dark and the light. So I'm going to come in with my dark, and I'm going to add my color here. And then I'm going to come in with the light and just blend that a little bit. Now it should not affect my my old olive design in the background, because that is a water base and this is alcohol base, so it should not make it run. I will try to color these in a little bit better than I did with the pencils, because they're a little bit more noticeable. And I'm just trying to blend that dark color up so that you don't see a line. And I just keep working it until the line is gone. I think that's so pretty with that old olive. All right. Trying to decide if I want to do these flowers. I guess I will. I'll just do the light on them. Even though it's light, it seems pretty dark. I apologize if I'm not staying in the lines. I'm really trying to hurry and not make you guys totally bored. Oh, I missed a flower down here. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more dark in here. Don't have many insides of the flowers to do on these little, I guess they're poppies. So that one's going to have to be the one with all the color, right? All right, almost done. Okay, I'm going to stop there, and we're going to put this baby together. And I'm going to stamp this because it's not stamped on the right side, which I'm happy that I found out now rather than later. And we're just going to pop this baby back on here. And I'm going to ink that up with black again. And then I have to figure out where I need it here. Let's see, this is the bottom. Hopefully it's flat enough that I can stamp it with all the folds in it. It almost fits. It doesn't quite cover everything, but it looks okay. So what I found, and I know this because the other one that I did one for class next month, which I'm not going to show you tonight because it's going to be a surprise. But so I did find that where you see the score lines pressed down, you're actually going to fold towards you. So you actually have to stamp on the opposite side. And I did know that. I just failed to tell Maggie that when she was stamping for me. So I like this direction better because I like to pop that little flower out there. So, all right, let's go ahead and figure out where we want this to go. And this little hoop is going to go under here. And then we have these cute little branches that are just I'm going to put 2 of them on, I think. And they're just going to line my, my hoop a little bit. Okay. And then I might tuck another one of these up in here. All right. So actually, let me not finish putting that together. I will just show you how that looks. And I do have, I've got linen thread for this one. So let me grab that. And I also grabbed a little bit of crumb cake on a sponge that I thought would be cute for the tag, just to set that off a little bit. To make it stand out from all of the white and cream here. Here's a new thing of thread, and of course I'm not going to be able to find the end of it. Okay. Is that it? Wow, that was lucky. That was a lucky guess. All right, again, I'm going to just put that dimensional in there. Actually, since I don't have this glued down, that was sort of dumb, but I'm going to go ahead and hook it right onto there. And so it'll at least be on that piece, right? Oh, goodness. Haste makes waste, they always say. My dad always said anyways. All right. Thank you, Michelle. I like how it came together too. I think that's cute. All right. So that's how it's going to look. I'm going to post all of these for you. I'll post them all in one post. So you'll get to see how it looks when it's actually glued down. But you got to see how it went together now. And you'll get to see the final run on that. Because I have one more to show you, and we are almost 45 minutes, guys. Sorry for holding you for so long. But I do want to show you this one. This is the one that inspired the one that I'm going to do for class. The only reason that I'm not doing this one is because this paper is from the art gallery paper. And a lot of it has this light brushed color on it. And it's pretty, but I wanted something bold. So I found a part of it that had this really bold Calypso coral color. And then my background piece is actually Poppy Parade. Because I wanted it to be brighter than Calypso coral. And it goes really well with this. I think this has maybe some darker areas that look like poppy. And then this piece is just going to go here as an accent. This is from So Sentimental Dies. And then, this needs stamped. So let me grab that real quick just so that you can see what it looks like together. And we're going to do a little sponging on this one as well. So here you can see where the embossed design went in. So when you see the imprints, then you know, let me just think this through, see if I'm saying this right. So yeah, that's the side that you don't want to stamp on because that's the inside. However, you could do both, just if you're going to see part of the inside when this folds back. You could do that. There's a little bit of ink on here. I'm going to go ahead and just press that right on there so that there's a little ink there. And then let me go ahead and ink this up. And I think that I don't want this real strong, so I'm going to waste a little bit of this black on my scrap paper anyways. And then I can turn it over and do this side. This is what happens when you don't have a stamp block, okay? You use your Stamparatus. It's usually not the way it goes. Usually it's the other way around, right? All right, so then this folds in. I probably should let that dry a little bit. That folds in. This one just gets folded over, and then there's a little fold right here. So it goes like that, okay? All right, and then this flower I stamped in Old Olive. And I am going to add some major color to this one. That's what drew me to this card. We are going to add, I pulled out my retired Melon Mambo, or Mango Melody, because it's a great bright orangish yellow color. I hope that you have that one before it got retired, or before it goes retired. I'm going to start with the purple just because I'm just putting a tad of purple on these tiny little flowers here. And I think I'm going to use pointillism just because they're so tiny, rather than trying to get the color on by moving my pen around and make a mess. Hopefully you saw that pointillism video. So I'm just tapping, tap, 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 tap. I realized when I looked back over the video that it was very hard for you to see that. It would have been nice to see that from the side. So just some tap, taps, tap, tap. Okay, so there the purple's finished. I'm going to do the yellow next, and I'm going to start with the darkest color. And I am just doing that on these pieces right here. So I'm going to just do around in a circle, and then I will pull this color. They're both very dark. I might add a touch of red to that as well. And this one I stamped in Old Olive. The other one I did in Pear Pizzazz. They really are pretty, whoops. They're pretty much the same color, just a different shade. So this one's just a little bit darker. Okay, I'm going to try something here. I'm going to come in here with a little bit of this red. And I'm going to put that in the center, and I'm going to try to pull that out a little bit, just to create a little bit of orangey color. Actually, what I'm doing is pushing it into the paper. I shouldn't use that end. Add just a little bit. Actually, let me try the darker shade. It didn't add as much as I was hoping for. It doesn't run like water does. I don't prefer that it is round, but that's how I put it on, right? See if I can spread it with this, using the brush tip rather than the firm tip, and using a staggery look. Okay, I like that. All right, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to color these flowers in the Poppy Parade. And I'm going to go ahead and just color them all in red, in the light poppy. helps if you hold on to that, Cindy. All right. I hate to color on camera. I really do. I feel like I have to hurry. I guess I should do like the my eye doctor said. I just need stronger reading glasses. And but this is really far away, so if I get too strong, then I wouldn't be able to see. I don't know. I need to play with it, get some, and see if I can see any better. This is about, so when I'm videoing, it's about 1.5 feet to 2 feet away from me when I'm working. And usually if I'm coloring, my head is much closer to what I'm working on. Aren't they so pretty? I can't wait to come in with the darker red here and just see how that pops. Just trying to get all the white covered. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. And just do some shading here. Okay, that's the first time that that flower actually looked to me like it was open like this instead of hanging like this. That's very weird. Perspective is so strange, isn't it? And I'm just going to spread that just a tad. It also helps when you go back over the color. It deepens the color, even if I'm just using the lighter color. All right, I'm really happy with that. I hope you guys like that. Isn't that an amazing pop of color on there? Okay, so this one is basically just like this. I did use the texture embossing folder behind here. Textile it's called. And then, see, my sample is completely upside down here. So this is going to go like this. Got my little newspaper here that's going to go like that. And I'm actually going to sponge the edge of this with my crumb cake again, so that the newspaper has a little more color to the edge because of all the white that's in the background. And then I have these lovely little pieces here that I'm going to pop in from the side, and then this one gets pearls added to it. Okay, so I'm gonna finish that and post those for you. I will do that tonight as soon as I'm finished here. I will finish these all up, and I will post the finished project for you so that you can copy it for yourself. Don't forget to like and share. I appreciate that. And you know, that gets you in the drawing. Next month I will be able to give you something new. I couldn't do that this month because I could only order a couple of things, and some of them I needed to give for my team event that I had this past Friday, and some of them I need for classes coming up. So anyways, so I've already used some of it, but I will definitely give you some new embellishments next month. We have about, I think, 6 or 7 new things coming out. So so I hope that you enjoyed that you maybe learned a few tips that you could use, and also got reminded of anything that you need to get before it retires on the 3rd. New catalog starts on the 4th, if I'm correct. I don't know if the date's on here, but I believe it's May 4th. It just says May, but pretty sure it's the 4th that you'll be able to order from that catalog. So, anyways, have a wonderful week. I will see you guys real soon. Take care. God bless.